Jeremy, Alexi, congratulations on Olympic Dreams, which is coming out Valentine's Day. Thanks to IFC Films. Now, this movie premiered at South by Southwest last year, and it's famous for being the first movie to be shot on location in Olympics during Olympics at the Athletics Village. Is that how you call it? Athletes Village. Yes, there you go. So I'm gonna get right to that question because I saw the film. You know, you guys interact with the athletes there. I think some of the athletes also became patients to Nick Kroll's character, who is a dentist. How did you make that happen? How did you get the permission? How much access did you get? What were the restrictions, if anything? Let me know.
It's the first fictional movie. So it is fiction, but it's the first fictional movie ever to be shot in a real Olympic athletes village, and it came about because the presidents of the Olympics happened to see our previous film Tracktown on an airplane,
which is where a lot of people are watching movies, and he was really he loved Tracktown. Tracktown follows a girl who's training for the Olympics, and it's kind of the moment before. And he invited us to go to the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang and be a part of this artist in residency program that the Olympics started and shoot a film project, which originally was envisioned as short films, which we did make. But Jeremy and I are really, we're passionate people, and we wanted to shoot a feature, and so we kind of grew the project, brought Nick Kroll on board. And as far as access, we had this unique access into all of these venues that no media has ever gone, and I think that was because they trusted a real Olympian to really respect that space and represent it, authentically. And so we were allowed in the athlete game lounge, into the dining hall, into the laundry room, places that you don't even think about, but are very important to the athletes when you're there. And as far as bringing in these other Olympians into the scene, it was, part of it was that we had these highly, these security clearances to go into the village, just Jeremy, Nick, and myself. And so Jeremy was a one-man band doing the directing, cinematography, and sound. Nick and I would mic each other up. We were a team, but we needed to bring on these teammates, and we wanted to incorporate the real Olympians. And so I would approach Olympians in the game room if they looked like they weren't too, like pre-race focused, which I know what that looks like. I would ask if they wanted to come and act in our movie, and they were either, interested in art, or they loved Nick Kroll, or they were bored, or they were nervous, and they came. And it was fantastic working with the real Olympians to tell a fictional story that could have happened.
Thank you for sharing that. I've never been to the Olympics. That's on my bucket list. I think LA might be hosting it one of these years. So just entertain me. What was it like to be at the Olympics as a participant and as a filmmaker? Somebody like, what impression did you get from your experience of being there at the Olympics?
Well, as a filmmaker, I first went to the Olympics in Rio in 2016 when Alexi was competing as an athlete. We had an inkling of an idea that it would be cool to be able to shoot something in the village, but assumed that it would be impossible until fate intervened and we got that invitation to come out. But, I think I was just struck by the cinematic potential of pretty much everything. I mean, you have people walking around, everyone has to wear a national uniform at all times. So everyone's like color coded. So it's like this pre-built-in palette. And then just, especially in the winter games where you have things like the ski jump or luge tracks, which are all locations in the film, there's such visually striking locations and then populated by visually striking people doing unique things. It's just very interesting to then be able to set like an indie romantic storyline in that world. And then, I think Alexi's experience as an athlete kind of informed the emotional core of the story.
Yeah, you're in awe, and making a movie is about, it's about magic, really. And I think the Olympics is a magical place. And so to be able to be making something in a place that is already imbued with so much energy, like I will say you just felt like a heartbeat there. And at every Olympics, you feel it. That is so unique. and it's also very romantic. Different in the summer and the winter games, but
right.
very romantic either way, just for different reasons.
In Tracktown, you played pretty much kind of like a loose version of what you do. Like, you're a long distance runner, just like your character in Tracktown. Here, you're a cross country skier. So, was that a skill that you had to learn just for this role, or you always had that in you? Like you're a good skier.
I never had it in me actually.
Okay.
And we had a stunt double. And this is a very fun story because
Yeah.
there are alternates on every team, particularly in cross country skiing. And we actually got to work with the US Olympic Committee and connect with an alternate from Team USA. And she was not competing in the actual games. And so she was my stunt double. And this became her Olympic experience. And I thought it was so special to involve an athlete in that way. I think she really loved being a part of it, and I felt grateful because I would not have done justice to the athleticism of a cross country skier.
But you found kind of like a newfound appreciation for it.
For sure. And the emotional core feels the same. Long distance running and cross country skiing are very similar in that, it feels like an individual sport, although there's a lot of camaraderie in it. It's just, it's a very mental sport. There's a lot of time that goes into it. There's a lot of hours. They felt very similar emotionally, and so I felt like my way into Penelope was through my own long distance running experience.
Nice, nice. How would you describe Penelope and Ezra's relationship? Because a couple of things that was brought up or pointed out in this film was like their age difference. One's 36, one's 22. I think he gets brought up a couple of times. It's a striking difference. A lot of people notice, but also the themes of fear of commitment, as you say. I mean, what do you hope the audiences will take away from the themes of the relationships of Ezra and Penelope?
I think Ezra and Penelope are each at transitional times in their life. So Alexi's character has just competed in the Olympics and is not quite sure what happens next. Ezra's character is more like he feels like he's at a stagnant place in his life, and that's why he volunteered to come be a dentist at the Olympic Village. So they're each these lost souls searching for what comes next in their lives. So when they intersect in the Olympic Village, it's kind of this like magical period of time that they have together that changes both of them.
As an athlete or participant, Olympian, because the movie kind of touches on this a little bit, how Penelope did not win, and it weighed heavy on her. Like, man, I don't know if I'll ever be up there. Like, can you speak from your experience, like as an athlete, how much that means to actually is winning everything for Olympics?
I love that question because I think that is the one you can't ask yourself beforehand because you want to give yourself the best chance at outperforming your expectations. My own experience was that I did outperform my expectations when I competed, and that was great. However, even though I did, there was still a drop off afterwards emotionally, and it's a post-Olympic depression really that every Olympian I know has faced, whether they won gold or got last. And it's just the feeling of having put your whole life into one thing, never thinking about the moment after, because if you did, you probably wouldn't get there in the first place. And then having it happen, and whether you win or whether you lose, there is an abyss afterwards. And so I think what we wanted to capture was that feeling that I had, that every Olympian has, that we don't talk about. And so, Penelope's emotional core is my own, but it's also, I think, a really joint. I think it's an experience that Olympians have, and that anybody has who's chasing something, a pinnacle that they will eventually reach or surpass. And then what is next, and how do you deal with yourself after that,
Found a second act as a filmmaker.
Yes, exactly. So I really picked my shoes up and figured it out, but it took a while, and I think Penelope, what's fun about this is that you're seeing inside the village and you're seeing the moment after. That is like, it's like right when you drop a glass and the glass is everywhere. It's like not a shard has been picked up, and we watch this movie as they start to pick up those pieces.
Final question. Track down Olympic dreams. Is there going to be a trilogy of athletic film? The third one?
You know, we do have one athletic project in the works
Okay.
that's going to be a departure, but we also have a new script that, you know, is like informed, I think, by some of the, you know, emotional experience of being really, really ferociously focused on something, but is actually going to be a big like genre leap for us. So we're really excited about that. So it's going to be like a big change that we were ready for. I can't really say more than that, though.
Jeremy and Alexi, congratulations on Olympic dreams and thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.